What's up, everybody? Welcome back to WTFFN, Work Till Friday Fake News. We have some more news updates for you guys. As the economy is piling into downfall, numerous companies filing for bankruptcy, the stock market is plunging, and then scammers are trying to take advantage of the situation. This just in from WTFFN.net.com, WTFFakeNews.net.com. Yeah, we got a lot of domains leading to the same website, but doesn't every other great company do that? So, on Wednesday, November 20th, I woke up to numerous advertisements bombarding me with attempts to do a stimulus package. So today we have woken up to numerous ads and alerts from Google alerting us of a new stimulus check coming to Americans. This indeed was an effort of scammers to get you to click on malicious links that they uploaded to Google using SEO poisoning along with targeting ads to manipulate people desperate for funds. If you happen to see an ad anywhere today, whether it be a Google or YouTube claiming they can help you claim your stimulus, if you want to click on this ad, please don't. I can almost guarantee these websites are being used to collect information and potentially, wow, that's why I shouldn't do voice to text when I'm doing these, and potentially compromise your devices. Stealing things like your Google Wallet, Samsung Wallet, or Apple Pay information. Please don't log into any of these sites. It can be harmful for your device. Why shouldn't we click on random links from untrusted sites, even if it's a top search on Google? Scammers and hackers have learned over time to manipulate algorithms. By manipulating that algorithm, they appear on top and seem to be of authority on the source. These are usually pinching schemes where they take any and all information they can from your device, from your demographic information stored on your devices, including pictures and videos, and sometimes even banking information. Even if you don't log in, but you just enter the site. They can use those cookies to go back to your social media and other platforms you may use to potentially find blackmailing items. This can result in potential email messages on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter with people claiming to have personal data of yours and being able to show proof open to the public to make you believe them. This technique is called digital ransom, where a scammer offers to delete the data for a large sum of money, sometimes in the tens of thousands of dollars. Once they get anything from you, the harassment will continue. They will pass it on to their friends and cohorts to forever victimize for the victimization of the, it was a furtherance, but they put forever, victimization of you. Don't fall victim until then. Tune in to WTFFN on YouTube, Rumble, and maybe one day Twitter and Blue Skies for up-to-date news stories you can trust from an unbiased opinion. Yeah, it's going down today, guys. It's going down today. I woke up so many alerts talking about learn how to claim your stimulus check, learn how to claim your stimulus check. And maybe back in the day, I would have clicked on these links and been getting emails forever. People telling me, oh, I'm going to send you a cash app. I'm going to send you a cash app. My spam folder is ridiculous. This would have been more stuff going to your spam folder, more people trying to get you to pay them in gift cards, or they might even try to hack your cash apps, Zelle accounts, Apple Pays, Google Wallets, and Samsung Wallets are also not exempt. Now, this information is stored on your phone, and they try to have you log in with one of your personal accounts in hopes that you use that password in other ways. Or even more maliciously, they'll have you log in with your iCloud or Google account so they can collect your payment information, which is ridiculous, guys. It's ridiculous. Don't give your information to non-trusted sites. My website happens to be hosted through a Google platform, so because some of the content on there can be not appropriate for younger users, unlike platforms like there's a lot of platforms we all know about that you can go and click on some unsavory images and videos and find them, and it's open to the public. I like to have some type of extra layer of security. I don't want kids finding some harmful information. It's up to you as the parents to decide what type of information you present to your children. But other than that, where did they get this idea? Well, for one, Spirit Airlines files for bankruptcy. What it means for customers. Yeah, a lot of companies are going bankrupt today. It is crazy out here in these streets. It is crazy out here in these suburbs. It is crazy out here in these rural communities. Why? Because scammers are capitalizing on headlines. A lot of these companies will receive bailouts in forms of stimulus, but the stimulus is not coming to us. The only time they give stimulus to American citizens is right before an election in order to secure votes. For instance, in 2004, right before the election, George W. Bush issued a stimulus check to all Americans in an attempt to buy their vote, and he succeeded. And he ended up defeating, who did he defeat in his second term? So irrelevant, we don't even know. And then Obama, he issued a stimulus check in 2012, defeating Mitt Romney. But Donald Trump failed at his stimulus check plans because the Democratic Party was able to take credit for the stimulus given out. But here, Spirit Airlines saved his file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The ultra-low airline will continue to operate as it restructures. Spirit stock has fallen by over 90% in 2024. Wow. But now that they're in bankruptcy, don't try to buy into them. I messed up like that before. You get a settlement in that. I'm trying to tell you. Hey, I'm not a stock expert, so do as you wish. But me personally, I will never buy into a company going through bankruptcy again. I lost a lot of money that way at one point in my life. The Morning Brief, Madison Mills and Brad Smith talk more about Spirt's bankruptcy proceedings in the wake of its failed merger talks with JetBlue Airways and Frontier. To watch more insights analysis on the largest market action, check out the morning briefing here. And this was from Yahoo Finance. So, yeah, they claim to be able to help you out with stocks, but I will never claim to be able to help you out with stocks. I will just let you guys know what I'm seeing in the market on a daily basis. What you choose to do with your own finances has nothing to do with us. We're a news company. I'm not trying to be no financial advisor. I'm not trying to get none of these debit cards or anything. Basically, I'm not these guys right here offering fake stimulus. Okay, on to the next story because there's a lot of stuff going on. Major healthcare provider files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The healthcare sector has faced several Chapter 11 bankruptcy filings this year as a result of severe industry headwinds. Despite a study claiming fewer healthcare providers are expected to file bankruptcy in 2024 compared to 2023, it's crazy. These healthcare companies got massive bailouts during the 2020 pandemic. Healthcare Reconstruction Advisory from Gibson Advisors reported in its interim 2024 report in August that 27% fewer firms were set to file for bankruptcy in 2024 compared to 2023. I just don't understand how we print trillions of dollars mainly going to these healthcare industries and now they're bankrupt. There's a budgeting problem in America. A lot of people don't know how to budget or live below their means. And until we end up getting over this, you expect to see a lot more. But some major healthcare providers have recently filed bankruptcy since that study was released. Oh, so the numbers might not be accurate no more. Hospitals and health center operators, CarePoint Health Systems, which operate as a safety net for a large underprivileged community, on November 4th filed for Chapter 11 protection in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the District of Delaware as it recognizes unsustainable debt. And I think CarePoint Health Systems is one of those urgent care facilities. So for an urgent care facility to be going under, it's ridiculous. You pay for cash before they even talk to you. The New Jersey debtor faced financial and liquidity challenges resulting for unreimbursed C-19 expenditures and inadequate state government funding to cover a disproportionately large number of uninsured and undocumented patients who are admitted through its emergency rooms. But you guys got the money for that. You got the money for that. I just, a lot of this stuff is something I don't understand. And it's not that I don't understand that they're going bankrupt. It's not that I don't understand that this stuff is becoming insolvent. I just don't understand how they continue to be insolvent year after year when they're making record profits. And then you also have to realize a lot of these healthcare companies we see and we're dealing with are indeed non-for-profits. So their goal is to eliminate all the incoming finances and all the incoming money every year. Following that bankruptcy filing, always, WellCraft Holdings, a leading healthcare provider for prisons and mental health facilities and 38 affiliations, on November 11th, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Okay, I thought I was reading that wrong, but it was just 1111. Wow. Maybe play that number today. You know what? No financial advice. Protection in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Southern District of Texas to recognize its business and sell certain assets, and ad hoc group of its participant leaders. The Nashville, Tennessee debtor blamed rising operating and labor costs, increased liability insurance expenses, underperforming contracts, and declining liquidity for causing its financial distress. Yeah. CareMax files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy as well. Wow, is there any other ones on here? So we got CareMax and all these urgent care facilities. They're starting to not completely go out of business, but it is going down. And what about companies that have yet to go bankrupt? Well, we got from CNN, and that last story was from The Street. I'm not even familiar with The Street. But we also have this from CNN Business. And they're trying to tell us what's going on and a whole bunch of stuff at the top. Target sounds the alarm bell for on holiday shopping. It's the holiday season. It's almost Black Friday. This is when these companies tend to seal up their debt by irresponsible spending, having to pay every worker in the store upwards of $15 an hour. Is just making it unsustainable. We need to bring back coming to a society where there's jobs for 14, 15, and 16-year-olds. So by the time they're 17, they have experience and are making a little bit more. Nobody's going to pay a 14-year-old $15 an hour. And no adult's going to work for less than $15 an hour. But the $15 an hour minimum wage is definitely causing a detriment to the society. Minimum wage is for our children's first job. The quicker you get into working, the quicker you build skills, the quicker you no longer get minimum wage. New York CNN, Target is expecting a surprisingly weak holiday shopping season, a potential warning sign for the retail industry. The company forecasts Wednesday that sales during the final quarter of the year will be flat. The Target lowered its profit forecast. Target also reported a sluggish sales increase, just 0.3% during the last quarter. The summer quarter, everybody tends to be outside, so don't really experience an increase in sales, so it's reasonable. The increase in sales comes in the holiday season. In the summertime, everybody's trying to save up for the holidays. Target is a bellwether for consumers' spending habits and the retail sector as a whole. The holiday shopping season is pivotal for retailers. While Target can survive a weak holiday stretch, many smaller companies depend on strong sales during the holiday seasons to carry them through the following months. Target is struggling because its core middle-class customer base has been strained by higher prices and pulled back on their discretionary goods like home decor, electronics, and non-essential clothing in favor for groceries and everyday essentials, which companies like Target and Walmart really don't make a profit on. Companies like Target and Walmart tend to try to have cheaper prices than a lot of other companies, even Aldi's. Aldi's has their Aldi's finds, right? Stuff that you find cheaper than everywhere else. Because it was stuff other places like Target and Walmart couldn't sell. They buy it for pennies on the dollar, and they mark it up majorly. So you'll buy something for $15, which is usually $50 in Walmart, but Aldi managed to get it for less than $5. So they're making a major profit on that. So they can end up allowing you to come in and purchase fruits, vegetables, and other goods at a fraction of the price because they're hoping you buy a few Aldi's finds before you leave. You get caught up by last season's decorations, last year's Christmas gifts, and you just pick out some stuff and you buy it and leave. But also, with the amount of theft going on, it's also something making these retailers suffer immensely. Consumers tell us their budgets remain stretched and they're shopping carefully as they work to overcome the impact of multiple years of price inflation. CEO Brian Cornell said on a call with analysts. Definitely, because before I got back into doing this, I was heavily in the retail industry. I don't like to really give up too much information, but yeah, I was heavily involved in retail, and I can tell you, customers' spending habits have shrunk. And on top of that, everybody is out here looking for work, looking for side gigs, looking for extra jobs. But Target also slumped because of its merchandise mix and higher prices compared to rivals like Walmart. Yeah, Target is definitely a little bit more pricey than Walmart, but I still prefer to go to Target. Because have you ever seen the people on Walmart? There's definitely a few channels online where you can look up the people on Walmart, hashtag people of Walmart. I don't like going in there. When I go into Walmart, I need something like a ring light. I need a reputable USB cable. Be careful with the USB cables you buy too, because similar to the pension scams I spoke about earlier, some of these third-party USB providers basically show you. Because I always got a bunch of stuff over here. Inside this, sometimes they can put an SD card or some other type of digital storage device in there to have something that has some type of load to hack your device. So be careful where you buy your wires. Don't buy wires unless they're in sealed packaging. It's a little bit safer when you're finding USB-C or USB Lightning to Lightning and USB-C because it's kind of harder to put that load on that little tiny circuit board. But the bigger USBs, that's why we're moving away from USB-A. There's a lot of hacking going on with the USB-A socket. But Target also slumped because of its merchandise mix and higher price compared to rivals like, oh yeah, we already said that. The chain stocks more non-essential merchandise compared to its competitors such as Walmart and Costco. I doubt that. Maybe Costco, but not Walmart. Like a quarter of Walmart's store is essential items. And then the mass of the rest of the store is non-essential item. Well, maybe a little bit more than a quarter, because you got like a quarter of the store section off for food and a couple aisles for pharmacy needs. And it includes your soap and goods and stuff. We all been to Walmart. We know what's going on in there. More than half of Target's merchandise is discretionary, making it more sustainable than its rivals to swings in consumer sentiment. Target may be losing share among its middle to upper income customers to retailers like Amazon, Costco, and Walmart. Joseph Feldman, an analyst at Telsey Advisor Group, said in a note to its clients. Well, the thing is, Target should not be trying to compete with Amazon and Costco. Target should be trying to compete with places like Walmart and Aldi's. When you try to compete with wholesalers, you're destined to fail. Costco competes with Sam's Club and the Berkeley Jensen Company, also known as BJ's Wholesalers. Why would you be trying to compete with somebody in a whole different industry? So We see that a lot of this stuff going on with Target is from its own mismanagement. Target in recent years has added more food and essentials to its store, but still trails Walmart, which gets around half of its sales from groceries. Well, that's because people go to Walmart and buy a bunch of groceries. Plus, Walmart is always a lot bigger than Target. Target has cut prices on thousands of items in recent months to draw shoppers, but that had limited impact on sales. While Target is struggling, other chains like Walmart are surging. Walmart sales at stores open for the last year grew 5.3% in the last quarter compared to the year prior. The company said Tuesday, and its profit grew by 8.2% last quarter. Walmart raised its financial outlook, a signal it expects a strong holiday shopping season. They always do. They always do. Then we got a whole bunch of stuff going on about TJ Maxx and Marshalls and all that. But one of the big problems with a lot of these big retailers, they're trying to compete with industries they can't compete in. You're not going to compete with Amazon. Amazon ships everything to your house. Amazon competes with Alibaba, Walmart.com, because Walmart.com is not the same as the Walmart store. There's a lot of third-party vendors on Walmart.com. And there's that new one, Temu. I always forget about Temu because I've heard some horror stories about Temu as well. And then we got this from Fox Business. Oh, what is this from Fox Business? It seems like the right, even though there's a lot of major layoffs going on. The right is trying to cancel Jaguar. I don't know if Jaguar is an American company, but this is not the time we try to cancel companies. And I guarantee a lot of people trying to cancel Jaguar could never afford a Jaguar in the first place. People that like Jaguars got the money to buy Jaguars, and they will continue to drive Jaguars. And for you to be trying to say, oh, we're going to cancel Jaguar, sir, you never even rode in a Jaguar. So yeah, this is some more ridiculousness. The Bud Light, they were able to lodge a pretty decent cancellation of Bud Light, but like the answer for cancellation is not more cancellation. You have a choice of where you spend your money and where you shop. I don't even want to get all into this, but yeah, they're just feeling some type of way. It always seems like there are very crybabies on both sides. So you got the MAGA calling the other side woke. You got the Democrats calling the other side maggots or magnets or something like that. And it just seems to be like extreme polarization. And I don't like this polarization. So what is the answer to this? Elon Musk seems to think he found the answer from one of the people on his X platform. We're going to see what this guy has to say and if there's any legitimacy in what he is saying.
American people spend over $500 billion per year defending themselves against the IRS. That's spitting distance from the $800 billion the Department of Defense spends protecting us against foreigners, well, failing to protect us in the case of the war. So forget Ukraine, forget ISIS, the calls are coming from inside the House. The number comes from my base colleague Richard Stern, who reports on a new tax foundation study that the income tax costs Americans $546 billion per year in compliance alone. Compared to our national defense...
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. You guys are paying your accountants and your lawyers that much money just to file your taxes? I need to get into accounting. Do they hire felons?
Budget at $849, which is supposed to protect the American people, yet completely fails to protect us from the IRS. Note this $546 billion is on top of the $4.9 trillion they actually took from us in taxes.
So it's basically $5.5 trillion every year spent on taxes and IRS. That is crazy.
And of course, it is separate from the economic impact of taxes, which might add another $15 trillion in lost income.
Wow.
Breaking it down, the 546 is made up of 7.9 billion hours Americans spend complying with the tax code, which at...
Wow, that's like a full-time job. We have to take on a third job every year before April.
10 million words is the length of 21 Lord of the Rings trilogies, all made of pure legal.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a very in-depth tax code. Can we make the tax code a little bit more basic and easier to understand? Like, it's crazy. They should teach you how to do your taxes in school, but we shouldn't keep passing these bills that are thousands of pages long. Like, if I was in Congress, I was in the Senate, the first thing I would do is introduce a bill. We need a limit. We need to come to an agreement and have a limit of pages. There should not be any bills passed that can't be read. People should be able to read these bills in bed to know the new laws that they are subject to.
Please. Of course, nobody actually understands the tax code. That's why big corporations hire tax lawyers at $500 an hour. But regular Americans, many of whom cannot name a state thanks to government schools, are assumed to have completely mastered...
I doubt they can't name a state. Maybe, kind of. But how can't you? You got to know the states you live in. You might not know how to spell it like I do. I don't know how to spell my state. But you got to know the states you live in. And you should know the states that you border in. I don't know all the states in the union, but...
the entire 10 million words of legalese, or they will throw you in a cage. That's equivalent to nearly 4 million Americans working full-time and without pay, doing nothing but tax paperwork. That's the population of Los Angeles.
Wow, that's a lot of paperwork. That's a lot of paperwork.
It's also 46 times the workforce of the IRS.
Wow.
Meaning for every tax bureaucrat we pay to steal from us, another 46 Americans have to spend their evenings and weekends helping the IRS steal instead of playing with their kids. On top of the hours, Americans spend another $133 billion a year out of pocket on things like tax software. So that's about $1,000 per year per household. So you could.
That's a lot for tax software, but I do recommend that you don't do your own taxes. A lot of people will tell you they do their own taxes. They do their own taxes. It's better just go to somebody, pay for the protection from the audit, because then you actually have a liability to fall back on. I know that they tell you should learn how to do your taxes in high school and stuff. You should understand the tax code. You should know what you need to do. You should know what documents to bring into your tax professional. But please, just spend the money to have somebody else doing for you.
You could have bought groceries. Instead, you bought TurboTax. No,
Yeah.
546 doesn't begin to estimate the cost of the IRS. I mentioned in previous videos studies estimating that we lose $3 in production for every dollar taken in taxes, since taxes discourage production. So why work, why build or expand a business if the government is just going to take it? That suggests the 4.9.
Can we have like a flat tax? Is that possible? Is it possible to have a flat tax around the board?
Trillion in taxes the IRS actually does take.
Yes, it would hurt people that currently get income tax checks and they depend on it, but it'll also promote more growth, because like there's a lot of people that don't want to take that promotion. They don't want to find a better job because they know at a certain point you make more money, and that extra $1,000 or $5,000 you're going to make a year is going to make you owe an extra 10% in taxes.
Take are costing us roughly 15 trillion in lost output. So 546 in compliance, 4.9 in lost taxes, 15 trillion in lost output. Rarely have so few taken so much from so many.
So basically, if they was to make the tax code a little bit easier to understand and a little bit easier to deal with, this man is saying that we could actually generate an extra $20 trillion a year, which that would quickly pay off our national debt.
For perspective, that comes to roughly 8 times what Americans spend on housing. It's 10 times what we spend on food, all for the IRS. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com, a constant.
He said he's from Unchained.com. I'm not familiar with this guy. He could be lying to us about everything. Please do your own research. And then I have, that is the end of the stories. That is the end of the stories for this. So I came to you guys, letting you guys know about problems going on and people taking advantage of the situation. I presented what was going on and the actual situation at hand, and I presented to you guys a possible solution. Until next time, please have a great and blessed day, and remember to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to watch WTFFN. Peace.